So I've separated it into two piles. I've got on the right some cassettes that I've bought that are pre-recorded, and on the left are some ones that I've actually recorded myself. So I've done this on a home tape deck that I've got, and then I can play that back on the deck or with some portable cassette players that I've got. So I'll talk about a few of the favourite ones and just read out the track listing and that, but we'll begin with the pre-recorded ones. So the first one, or the first pack should I say, is the Now That's What I Call Music 8. So quite a lot of you will probably be familiar with this album, and it's basically all the top chart hits from a certain time period, and I think they're on something like now 140 at the moment. I might be wrong, they might be even higher, but I mean, when I was younger it was probably now 100, stuff like that. But this is now 8, so this was one of the really early ones, and as a result it was on cassette rather than CD or digital. And this is a double pack, so inside there are 2 cassette tapes, and so 4 sides in total, and they each actually come with little inlays as well, so you can read up about the bands that are on there as well. So a few of these songs that are on here, they'll be said on the back of the cards. So those are just a few on there, but got stuff like Don't Leave Me This Way by the Communards, In Too Deep by Genesis. So these are some of the more popular 80s ones, and this is from 1986, I believe. And then also in the apologies for that noise. In this pack as well, there is now 13, which is now 1988. This one is, again, with two cassette packs with removable inlays as well. And in here we've got Erasure, A Little Respect. There is, there's a few others as well. Kim Wilde's in here, Phil Collins as well. So there's some really big names from the 80s in there. This is Substance by New Order, which came out in 1987. New Order were a new wave band, formed initially as the band Joy Division, but then after the lead member's suicide, they restructured the band into New Order. And this is Substance, which has got some songs such as, which the inlay will say. So what have we got there? So we've got Blue Monday, which is arguably their most famous song. Temptation, Thieves Like Us, Bizarre Love Triangle as well, True Faith, another really good one. So this is probably one of their biggest albums. The removable inlays are really good because they've often got artwork on there as well, and again, like in the Now ones, you could see some snapshots of the bands themselves. This is Electric Light Orchestra, a New World record. So this has got songs such as Telephone Line in there, Tightrope, Mission, Living Thing as well. Very popular band from the 70s as well as the 80s. And Steve Winwood as well, with his album Chronicles. So Steve was massive in the 80s, in the rock genre. So on here we've got Wake Me Up on Judgment Day, While You See a Chance, Vacant Chair, Help Me Angel, My Love's Leaving, Valerie, which is one of my favourite songs of his, another one of my favourites, which is Higher Love, Spanish Dancer, and Talking Back to the Night. And just a couple of miscellaneous ones that I was given from family members. We've got Dusty Springfield, who's famous from the 60s. And this is his silver collection, so this is like a compilation which was released in the 80s. And also John Denver, the infamous country singer. This includes Perhaps Love, Calypso, Love Again, and Take Me Home, Country Roads as well. So those are the pre-recorded cassette tapes that I've got, and some of the tapes that I've decided to have a go at myself are just here as well. So we'll start with, so this is actually the first tape I ever made, which is Non-Stop Pop FM, which is from Grand Theft Auto 5, so the in-game radio stations. I basically put together a playlist and recorded them onto tape, wrote down all the track listings as well. I haven't actually labelled the tapes, so I need to get around to doing that actually, to be fair. There are a couple of tapes where I've recorded one side but not finished off the other. So on the theme of Grand Theft Auto, there's also a tape which has another 2 radio stations. So we've got Radio Mirror Park and also Los Santos Rock Radio. So this has got some of the games, well, my favourite songs from these radio stations, but some include I'm Free by Kenny Loggins, The Highwaymen by The Highwaymen, Peace of Mind by Boston, We Built This City by Starship, Saturday Night by Elton John. So that's a really, really good radio station, one of my favourites in the game. And then Radio Mirror Park, which plays some more indie music. So this has got a few of the songs actually that play right at the end of the game, depending on which ending you get. So there's the Setup by Favoured Nations, Sleepwalking by Chain Gang of 1974, and I think Don't Come Close by Ye Say is the other one as well. But there's other ones like Lucky Boy, Sometimes by Miami Horror as well. Some really, really good ones on there. Whilst on the theme of video game music, there is a couple that I've made from some of the games of mine. So this is the D Collection von Tregenza, which basically means the Tregenza collection. And this is the soundtrack to Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is a alternate reality game set in the 1980s. If Nazis from World War II, they won the war essentially and took over the globe. But it's set in France, I believe, and there's some cool sort of 80s music inspired by What If kind of thing. And yeah, there's quite a few on there. I really like the design of this cassette as well, the Memorex DBS. I've got a couple that look like this, but it's one of my favourite ones because of the colours as well, and because it's a black cassette, because a lot of these are clear. They're the cheap ones, but I really like the sort of opaque ones. And also there is Diamond City Radio, which is from the video game Fallout. So this has got all sort of 1940s, 1950s, up to 1960s as well. Sort of old-timey music, which is what Fallout's all about. Fallout's all very retro, but futuristic at the same time. So this has got songs like Anything Goes by Cole Porter, The End of the World by Skeeter Davis, 60 Minute Man, Right Behind You, and this is all my favourite songs from that radio station, which is what you can listen to when you play the game as well. This is a 2-hour cassette, so and this is the longest one I have because there was just that many songs and I wanted to include all the best ones. but there's so many good songs that I needed a massive cassette for it. Moving on to a different genre now. So this is actually Guardians of the Galaxy Awesome Mix Volume 1. So in the films, there's a cassette tape for each film. So Volume 1's from the first film, then there's Volume 2 from the second film, and then Volume 3 from the third. I made this one myself. They do sell them. You can buy one produced by Marvel, essentially. But I decided to make this one myself. This uses another Memorex DBS tape. Again, so it's a 60-minute one altogether, which just about fits everything on. And we've got Hooked on a Feeling by Blue Swede, Go All the Way by the Raspberries, Spirit in the Sky by Norman Greenbaum, Moon Age Daydream, David Bowie, Fooled Around and Fell in Love by Elvin Bishop, and I Want You Back by the Jackson 5. And then on side B, there's I'm Not in Love by 10cc, Come and Get Your Love by Redbone, Cherry Bomb by The Runaways, Escape, which is known as the Pina Colada song as well, by Rupert Holmes, Old Child by The Five Stair Steps, and Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell as well. So that's a really good tape as well. And then this one is the Guardians of the Galaxy 2. This is the Awesome Mix Volume 2, and this one I did buy from the official website. And as you can see, they've kind of drawn it themselves, but I don't know. I do like this one, but it's definitely not as nice as a tape as the Memorex one. But this has got some really good songs on as well. Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra, Fox on the Run by Sweet, Lakeshore Drive, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac's really good as well. And yeah, just quite a few other good ones in there. A Little Bit Close is brilliant. That's a really good song. It's one of my favourite albums. And now just got a few more miscellaneous ones. So this interesting looking tape, which looks like a face. You've got the two eyes, the nose and the mouth. This is a Screamer tape by Scotch, and I thought it fitting to put some pop music from the 80s on there, because it's very colourful and vibrant, like the music was from that era. And this has got In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, Tainted Love by Soft Cell, Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics, Blue Monday New Order, Temptation by Heaven 17. Oh, we've got loads in there. Every Breath You Take by The Police, Give It Up by Casey and the Sunshine Band, Relax by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat, which is one of my favourite songs of all time, really, probably top 10. Take On Me by a-ha, which is arguably one of the most famous 80s songs. The Boys of Summer by Don Henley, Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears, The Power of Love, Huey Lewis and the News, Don't Leave Me This Way by the Communards, another one of my favourites, Valerie by Steve Winwood. So you can see quite a lot from the pre-recorded ones sort of bled onto this a bit. Tell It to My Heart by Taylor Dane, Waiting for a Star to Fall by Boy Meets Girl, A Little Respect by Erasure, She Drives Me Crazy by the Fine Young Cannibals, and what's that last one? That is Enjoy the Silence by Depeche Mode as well. So yeah, I've got loads on there. And that one's, I believe, a 90-minute tape, so that can fit 45 minutes on each side. One thing I haven't done though, across all, I've done it on this one, is I wound the tape up, but on a lot of the others I'm halfway through, like a side, so it's one thing you've got to do with tapes. Always rewind them. This is, so this is Eurobeat, which is quite a high energy almost like workout music, to be fair. But it's almost exclusively started in Europe, but it's since branched out to other places. And there's stuff on here like Deja Vu, Don't Stop the Music on here as well. Dragostea Dinte by Ozone as well, which is a really big one. So there's quite a few sort of early 2000s music on here. It's like very high energy, really fast tempo to the music, but it's really good as well. But that's one where I've only done about half the tape, so I could use the other side for if I find more songs on there, but I've just never got around to doing it. And then just a couple of more miscellaneous ones. These ones that I've done relatively recently. This is a throwback collection, so this is some songs from when I was younger that I decided to record onto a tape and listen back to. This is quite an interesting design of a tape because it's got the opaque bit, nice chrome layer, and then it's got like a little window as well. None other like that, because usually it's either just opaque or see-through. But on here you've got, oh, I made a mistake there, so I had to use good old Tipex on there. We've got Crazy by Niles Barley, I think. Hey Soul Sister by Train. Only Girl by Rihanna. Dynamite by Tayo Cruz. Cooler Than Me by Mike Posner. DJ Got Us Falling in Love by Usher and Pitbull. In For The Kill by LaRue. I Need a Dollar by Aloe Black, so that's side A. And side B is I Got a Feeling by the Black Eyed Peas. Paradise by Coldplay. Drive By Train. Levels by Avicii. Will Be Coming Back by Calvin Harris, an example. Another one from Rihanna, Diamond. Pompeii, Bastille, which is top 3, I'd say. Favourite songs all time for me. And Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. So this is over from like 2008, 2007 up to about 2013. So a bit of a range, to be fair. Yeah, and then last for this video is something that I've made quite recently. And this is a soundtrack tape for the 2 Dune films. So on side A we've got Dune Part 1, which came out a few years ago, and then Dune Part 2, which came out March this year. Yeah. So just been listening to Dune Part 2 actually on there. I'd say out of the 2, I'd definitely prefer Part 2 soundtrack. There's more music on there, more tracks that are interesting to me at least. But Part 1's got a really good lineup as well. But both of the films have got a very, very different feel to them. So the track reflects that as well. It's a different mood. So, for instance, one here, which is House Atreides, that's a very long song. That's about 13 minutes long, and when you're listening to it, it feels like a bit of a journey. It's a really good listening experience. And then in Dune Part 2, they play off of the melody that's inside House Atreides and incorporate it into a few different tracks. So there's Beginnings, A Time of Quiet Between the Storms, Kiss the Ring, and Only I Will Remain. All of those songs share the general theme from House Atreides. So that was really good because I really enjoyed that from the first one. So hearing it again in the second film was really nice. But another couple of good ones. There's Harkonnen Arena, which is fantastic in the second film. That really adds to the atmosphere of what's going on the screen. And then Herald of the Change as well. So that's when essentially the main plot of House Atreides being given the planet Arrakis, which is central to Dune, for any of those who are familiar with it. That scene and when the music's playing really just looks amazing. The music just adds to it. But that's by Hans Zimmer, who is a fantastic at what he does. He's done so many great films over the years. So that is all of my cassettes for the moment. So hope everyone enjoyed it. I'm looking to do another video on my vinyls that I've got. So I've got a few vinyl records, some big albums, and then some small like single ones as well. So I'll be doing that in the near future, so stay tuned if you're interested in that as well. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.